Well, welcome to Golden Tales by Nia, where stories come alive. Settle down and get cozy as you move with me into an exciting world of magic and adventure.
The sun sank behind the hills, painting the savannah in deep purple. Danjuma guided his cows to Kogenrai, the river of life. The water shimmered like molten gold, but tonight it murmured secrets. Danjuma paused. The wind felt different, colder. Shadows stretched longer than they should. A rustling sound, soft but clear, drifted from the reeds. He squinted into the growing darkness. The river seemed to hold its breath. Even the cows stopped, eyes wide. Something, or someone, was watching. Danjuma's pulse quickened. He whispered a prayer, gripping his staff tightly. He didn't know if he should stay or run. A silver glow spread across the river as the full moon rose. The cold breeze turned warm. The reeds parted on their own, as if welcoming someone. Danjuma's eyes widened. From the mist emerged a figure, a girl. Her skin glowed, her long black hair cascading like a waterfall. She stepped lightly, the water barely rippling. Her white garment shimmered like a star caught on earth. Danjuma's breath hitched. Was she a spirit, a goddess, or something more dangerous? His heart pounded, torn between curiosity and fear. Then, she looked at him and smiled. The words spun. "You shouldn't be here," Zainab said softly. Her eyes sparkled with kindness and danger. "This place belongs to the night. I am no ordinary girl." Danjuma's heart sank. "I didn't mean to disturb you," he said softly. Zainab smiled again. "It's too late now. Our fates are linked." Danjuma felt a strange joy and fear at the same time. Danjuma swallowed. "Who are you?" he asked. She sighed. "I am Zainab, a maiden of the moon. If you see me, your life will change." Her voice held a warning, but Danjuma's heart refused to listen. "What if I wanted to change?" he whispered. "Some changes come with a price. Be sure you can pay it." Then, like a breeze, she turned and disappeared into the shadows. "Wait!" Danjuma shouted, but she was gone. Danjuma felt as if he had woken from a dream. Danjuma couldn't stop thinking about Zainab. Each night, he waited by the river, hoping to see her again. The moon grew smaller each night, and still, she didn't return. The other cowherds teased him, saying he was dreaming. But Danjuma didn't care. He believed in his heart that she would come back. He spoke to the moon, making a promise. "I will wait for you, no matter how long it takes." The wind carried his words across the water. Deep down, he felt that Zainab heard him, wherever she was. His heart was full of hope and love. One morning, one of the other cowherders told the village elders about Zainab. Word spread quickly to Saki Abubakar, the jealous king. His eyes glittered with greed. "A maiden of the moon," he sneered. "She shall belong to me." The king ordered his guards to watch the river every night. "No spirit can escape me," he boasted. But he did not know the power he challenged. Danjuma's stomach twisted in fear. He couldn't let the king capture Zainab. That night, he sharpened his staff, ready for whatever came. He whispered to the moon, "Please, protect her." The moon's light dimmed, as if uncertain. As the full moon returned, Danjuma waited by the river, heart pounding. The air felt wrong. From the shadows, he heard a twig snap. "Guards!" He hid behind a tree. Zainab appeared, stepping into the water, her eyes soft and trusting. "No!" Danjuma yelled, running toward her. Too late. Nets flew through the air, tangled in moonlight. Zainab screamed as the guards pulled her to the ground. Her glow flickered, her power fading. "You betrayed me," she cried. Danjuma's world shattered. He hadn't betrayed her, but his silence had. He grabbed his staff, ready to fight. The guards dragged Zainab through the reeds, her glow dimming with each step. Danjuma's heart pounded. "Let her go," he shouted. He swung his staff, knocking one guard into the river. Zainab's eyes filled with tears, but anger flashed in them too. She whispered words that crackled with power. The moon shuddered in the sky, and the river swelled. Waves surged, pulling guards under. But Saki Abubakar appeared, a wicked smile on his face. He raised a vial filled with dark liquid. "I planned for your magic, Moon Maiden," he sneered, spilling the liquid. The water hissed, turning black. As the black liquid spread, the river screamed. Zainab gasped, her feet burning where the water touched them. The river's magic was dying. Danjuma felt helpless. "You're killing her," he shouted. Saki Abubakar laughed. "If I can't have her, no one can." Zainab's glow flickered like a dying candle. "The river, it's poisoned," she whispered. Danjuma's mind raced. He remembered the old sage, Baba Megama, who spoke of a hidden spring, the river's pure heart. "Hold on," Danjuma said, grabbing Zainab's hand. They plunged into the dark water, the poison clawing at their skin. There was no turning back. Darkness swallowed them as they swam deeper. The poison burned their eyes and skin. Zainab's glow was almost gone. Danjuma's lungs screamed for air. Then he saw it, a faint blue light. The hidden spring. He kicked harder, pulling Zainab with him. They burst into a cave where pure water bubbled from a crystal spring. Zainab fell to her knees, drinking the water. Her glow returned, stronger than before. "The river's heart," she whispered. The cave trembled, sensing her presence. But a shadow blocked the entrance. Saki Abubakar's guards had followed. "You won't escape," they roared, spears ready. Danjuma stood in front of Zainab, his staff ready. "You'll have to go through me," he shouted. The guards laughed. "A cowherd against warriors," one sneered. But Danjuma's eyes burned with fire. He remembered every story his father told him, stories of bravery and sacrifice. The first guard lunged. Danjuma dodged and struck his knee. Another came, but Danjuma spun, knocking the spear away. Zainab stood, eyes blazing. She raised her hands. The spring's water rose like a serpent and crashed onto the guards, sweeping them out of the cave. Danjuma turned, breathing hard. "We are not safe yet," Zainab warned. Before they could escape, a chilling laugh echoed through the cave. Saki Abubakar stepped forward, dry and untouched. "Did you really think a wave could stop me?" he sneered. Behind him stood Baba Megama. The old sage's eyes gleamed with guilt. "I'm sorry, Danjuma. He promised me gold." Danjuma's heart shattered. The one person he trusted had betrayed him. Zainab's glow flickered with anger. "Greed blinds you, old man," she said coldly. Saki Abubakar lunged for Zainab. Danjuma acted on instinct, pushing her aside. The king's hand missed her, grabbing the spring instead. The water hissed, turning him to stone. The cave echoed with a sickening silence as Saki Abubakar's stone form stood frozen by the spring. Baba Megama's eyes widened in horror. "What have I done?" he gasped. But Zainab's eyes flashed with fury. "You betrayed us, and now the curse will claim you too." The spring's waters glowed brighter, pulsing with anger. A ripple surged toward the old sage. Terrified, Baba Megama stumbled back, but the water grabbed his ankles. "Forgive me," he cried. The water hissed, turning him into a twisted statue of regret. Danjuma clenched his fist. "The greed of men destroys everything," he whispered. Zainab turned to Danjuma, her eyes softening. "The river is dying," she said. The poison water was spreading faster now, black veins creeping along the cave walls. "If we don't restore its heart, the land will wither forever. Danjuma's heart ached. He looked at the glowing spring, the only pure path left. How can we stop it? He asked. Zainab took his hand. The river's heart must be set free. But it will cost me everything. Danjuma's eyes filled with tears. No. There must be another way. Zainab shook her head. Sometimes, sacrifice is the only path to life. Zainab stepped into the spring, her glow merging with the water. Zainab, wait. Danjuma shouted, but she smiled softly. Trust me, Danjuma. I was never meant to stay. She raised her arms, and the spring roared to life, light flooding the cave. The poisoned water hissed and retreated, turning clear again. The dark veins vanished. But Zainab's glow faded, her body becoming light itself. Danjuma's heart shattered. Don't leave me, he cried. Zainab's voice whispered through the air, I'll always be with you, where the river flows. Her light burst into 1,000 stars, leaving only silence behind. The ground trembled. Danjuma fell to his knees, tears streaming down his face. The cave walls cracked open, and a river of clear water gushed out, roaring with life. The poisoned black water vanished, replaced by sparkling silver streams. The river of life was reborn, its magic restored. Danjuma felt the wind whisper around him, carrying Zainab's presence. He walked to the riverbank, his heart heavy but proud. The land outside began to bloom again. Trees stood taller, flowers burst open, and birds sang joyfully. Zainab's sacrifice had saved them all, but the cost was carved into Danjuma's soul. Danjuma returned to the village, the river song echoing behind him. People gasped as they saw the river flowing clear again. Elders wept with joy. The river lives, they cried. But Danjuma's eyes held a deeper story. He knelt by the river, whispering, Thank you, Zainab. Every full moon, he visited the river, telling stories of the moon maiden who saved their world. Children listened in awe, and the land thrived. The river's waters glowed faintly at night, a reminder that sacrifice and love could conquer greed. And in the wind's whispers, Danjuma always heard Zainab's gentle voice. Years passed, but the river of life never lost its glow. Danjuma grew old, but his spirit stayed young, forever shaped by Zainab's sacrifice. He often sat by the river, teaching the next generation the story of the Moon Maiden. The children listened with wide eyes, learning the truth that greed and betrayal destroy, while love and sacrifice heal. On nights when the full moon bathed the river in silver light, villagers whispered that they saw a figure gliding across the water, her hair long, her smile radiant. Zainab's spirit lived on, a guardian watching over the land she loved. The river sang forever, reminding everyone that true love is selfless, and the greatest gift often comes through sacrifice.
Thank you for joining me today on Golden Tales by Nia. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the magic. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired.